Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Here, we're looking forward to doing some Pathfinder 2E with everyone. I am going to, and we are going to get right into that. But, Anne, do you want to tell us some more about Jaspers before we get too deep?
It is I, the voice from the beyond, come to you to tell you of our great cause this weekend. We are here gathered for Jasper's Game Week, a celebration and donation drive supporting Jasper's Game Day, which is a 501c3 charity dedicated to suicide prevention and awareness efforts. They have done things like keep suicide hotlines from closing. They have served veteran communities. They have helped at-risk youth in various areas around the U.S. They make it their business to be guardian angels of different organizations that need help so that they can provide the help that comes before the worst imaginable outcome can be met. So please, if you are able to, we're so glad that you're here. Please give generously. Every $25 donation will be a hero point pool for our fantastic players here who Quinn is about to challenge within an inch of their lives. So please save them from his wrath. But we are so appreciative that you're here, and I am going to turn it back around to Quinn. There are instructions for donations on the screen. Take it away, Quinn.
Thank you so much. So let's get right into it. We'll introduce sort of our players and their characters a little bit, and we'll just start with, for everybody, we'll start give her name, pronouns, and then your character's name and their ancestry background, class, and just like a little tidbit about them. And Christopher, we'll start with you. Christopher?
Oh, me. Oh, I'm
yeah. Sorry.
You told us you're going to use our character names, and we got it burned into our minds.
Sorry.
Wait a minute. Which character is Christopher?
Who's this?
I was going to use. I'll use the.
I am Christopher.
I will use character names.
Yeah. So I'm Christopher. Come to you from Missouri. My character is he/him, and my character is ancestry is orc. And the class is a cleric. It was born in the Badlands in a warring tribe. Decided he didn't like being so much of a warrior and went off to live kind of as a hermit. Eventually started to develop some relationship with some deity, but he doesn't even know what deity it is that's granting him his cleric abilities yet. But he wants to heal rather than kill, ideally. So, and he likes bears.
Okay. Rick.
Hello, I'm Rick Sandidge, he/him. I'm playing Cedric Landry, also he/him. Cedric comes from a small halfling farm located in the southern portion. I'm assuming, are we in Galarian? I'm not positive, actually. I didn't ask that.
Like Galarian-esque. I said it.
So located in some nice southern grasslands where his family grew a variety of primarily barley that was used for production of various things that barley is used for. However, he was much more of an outdoorsy type. His grandfather kind of took him in and taught him the ways of the ranger and the use of the crossbow. Less common ranger tool, but for his elderly halfling grandfather, it was a much easier weapon to use than a longbow. His grandfather encouraged him to pursue his dreams of traveling, and so now he's out having fun exploring communities that have a population in the triple digits. So that's basically Cedric. Small town boy out in the world.
Nice. Leah. Oh, muted.
Oh, I'm muted.
Mute. Yeah.
Small technical difficulties.
Hi, my name is Leah. I use she/her pronouns, and I will be playing Babar Majin, the Ifrit human swashbuckler. She's an ex-gladiator with literally glowing skin like a torch. And she thought that would lead her to great success in gladiatorial arenas, but it turns out staring at a torch for 20 to 30 minutes will give you a huge headache. So now she's in a lot of debt and just trying to keep her head down and make some extra money.
Great. Bex.
Hi, I'm Bex. My pronouns are they, them, and I'll be playing Ilda, pronouns she, her. They are a Twilight Halfling rogue, and they used to be a detective and had a small business, but they realized even though they're really good at deceiving and investigating things, confrontation, not their thing. So she doesn't want to stay around there and is just kind of out exploring and seeing what else she could be doing.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy, he, him pronouns. My character is Harvey Remington. He's a kitsune, a Dark Fields kitsune, fighter with a detective background. He used to be a bodyguard, but he has since left the profession after a mishap with his former employer. He's currently on the run after that mishap and has decided to take up becoming a gentleman detective instead.
For a switch of professions. Good.
Yes.
And last, I am your GM, Quinn Murphy, he, him. And I don't know, I have all sorts of shenanigans for the player. Actually, the name of this adventure that I've done is called Shenanigans Migsy's Revenge. So we'll see what shenanigans we're up to. But before shenanigans, we're starting, we're going to start sort of, cinematically, we will sort of cut to, a far distant shot of your group walking towards Festin, making their way about midday here, and they're talking back and forth about really their last adventure. Show here. Everybody should see the handout there. Your first adventure saw you exploring these ancient catacombs filled with skeletons and other undead, looking for treasure like adventurers do. So first thing you want to start off with everyone is what's something that went pretty well for your character, or went well as far as your character is concerned. We'll start with Snurpstone.
What went well is you guys are still with me. I didn't chase you away. I'm not the most charismatic person. I haven't been around people in a while. I'm not necessarily the most easy personality to get around with. We put restless souls to rest. I assume we were killing undead, so that seems like a reasonable goal. Something that went poorly.
We're gonna just do the first one for everyone. For Cedric.
Generally went well for me. First off, Cedric loves teamwork, so actually having a group to work together with, that went pretty well for him. Having another halfling in the team, that's great. Someone else to commiserate about how tall doors are and how annoying it is to reach above your head for doorknobs. Other than that, probably just general getting to work together with a team down in the depths.
Teamwork, okay. Babarmagin.
I think the best thing for Babarmagin was to be able to show off some of her excellent sword work and her clever quips to the skeletons who probably couldn't understand her, but she had a lot of fun with it.
Ilda.
This was probably one of Ilda's first full adventures off doing something else. So the fact that it went well and that we succeeded and they didn't have to have anyone yelling in their face too much was a great thing.
Nice. And Harvey.
Well, I managed to get through without any serious injury, and no one I was with died. So that's a big win for me. Very big win for me.
It's been a long time.
This is literally the second thing I've ever done. So the first thing did not go well.
So now, the sort of conversation is going, and after sort of everyone is enjoying each other's sort of company and talking about these things, then you start to get to the things that didn't maybe go so well, and we'll go in reverse order here. Harvey, what's something that went poorly for your character or in your character's eyes?
Oh, sorry, you just
For
said
Harvey,
me.
sorry, yeah, no, sorry.
We reversed the order.
Yeah. I'm very
it's-
tricky. I'm very
My
tricky.
fox-like reflexes were stymied for a moment, but I'm back with you. Well, though I did prove myself, I think, a very capable operative, I did have a little bit of a mishap, or more accurately, a series of mishaps. I kept slipping and falling. Frankly, I've never been around that many bones before, and I didn't expect them to be quite so slippery. So that was a little embarrassing, but you dust yourself off, then grab a handkerchief and wipe yourself off, and then move on.
Ilda.
Ilda definitely wasn't quite ready to be out in front and attacking first and things. And so they probably didn't do their best job. She definitely kind of hid for a while and then was kind of behind the party for a bit. So she's definitely going to try to work on that and be faster and better.
Babarmajan.
So I think at the beginning of the adventure, Babarmagine was trying to be very coy about who she was, like, wearing a large hood and concealing most of her skin to conceal the glow. And I think about halfway through, a skeleton just absolutely ripped off that hood and revealed who she was. Not sure if anyone would have actually known, but she's extremely worried about any of them ratting on her to the debtors she owes a lot of money to.
Oh.
Cedric.
I figure Cedric probably had some issues firing crossbows at skeletons, at which point he realized that's not exceptionally effective. Then switched to his dagger, which didn't seem to work, or his short sword, and eventually realized that he lacks any form of bludgeoning weapon, a problem of which, according to my character sheet, I have not corrected. So that would have been a major issue for me.
Okay.
Ill-prepared, it seems.
Yeah. Schnurtzka.
When Schnurtzka tries to be stealthy, he could be stealthy. But he's a bit of a loud talker. And so sneaking around the corner, hey guys, you smell that? It was a bit of a faux pas. Kind of let everybody know where we were, and wasn't the best idea. But
still picking up subtlety.
Yeah, not quite there. And some of the passageways were really narrow. He's a big guy, 6'4", 208 pounds. A little claustrophobic.
Fair. And then last thing, as a sort of conversation run up and we approach this, then what did the other characters? What's one thing that they learned about your characters, starting with Schnurz?
Well, he's a big guy, which is obvious, which makes him look tougher than he really is. He's more of a big softy,
So they saw some of your gentler side?
Yeah.
Okay. What about Cedric?
Cedric is an exceptional aim, so there is that. Even if my my crossbow was not particularly effective. Other than that, he's very caring about his companions. Always willing to post battle help bandage some skinned knees and give everyone a good slap on the back, and carries a little bit of extra rations for everyone if they need a pick me up.
Thanks, Babarmajan.
I think other than her identity was probably the major thing they learned, but I think while she has her own sense of style and panache, she is certainly not above elevating the others around her to help them achieve the same feats. She likes to sort of support other people and give them a couple fighting tips, just to maybe try punching the skeletons.
My tiny fists.
Ilda.
The party definitely learned that Ilda likes talking to make sure that everyone feels comfortable. So we're trying to fill quiet spaces and things. But now that we're all talking, that'll probably calm down a bit. Just to make sure everyone's comfortable in the party.
So now, are you feeling those spaces like Schnurtzka is at sometimes inappropriate times?
Somewhat more just kind of like check in. Are you okay? Are you having fun? And that sort of stuff.
Awesome. Okay, great. And Harvey.
Well, I think the group would have learned that I'm simultaneously very capable and very inept. In that I do not always have a good understanding of my own abilities. I am very, very dexterous, but for some reason I also insist on trying to wrestle, punch, and otherwise lift. I attempted to suplex several skeletons, things I'm really not built for, but I try to push myself, and I think that it's within my grasp, so I just go for it.
So you're like a master of the misapplication of your attributes.
Absolutely.
Okay, got it. I love it.
This is gonna go great.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. So all of these scenes are you're talking and just sort of deepening those bonds from your first adventure on their way to your next adventure, which you received. You heard in the town you were in afterwards. You saw some sort of desperate, frantic posts from Festin saying, we need help. We're infested with gremlins. We need adventurers to come and root them out, and help us keep everything under control here. And they were willing to pay quite a bit. Paying 20 gold per adventurer, for the service. So you said, sure, why not? And so you're entering Festin now. And give me a thumbs up when you see the handout. Right.
Very pleasant looking place.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful hamlet.
And, from a distance, it's idyllic. But when you get closer, you can see the troubles. It wears its troubles like right out there. Festin's battered wood palisade tells the story of some recent troubles. There's a pair of guards in simple leather armor, cautiously eyeing the horizon as they lean on their pole arms, and they kind of give you a little bit of side eye as you pass by. Nothing to stop you, but and as you pass by, you see a farmer tilling her field, sweat shining on her brow. She pitches her wide-brimmed hat backwards and offers you a nod as you pass.
Wow.
And she goes to smile in response, but like just as she goes to like show her teeth, she's like, and she turns away oddly. And you're getting in deeper, and there are deep ruts in the road where carts come and go each day. And at the end of the road, and like in the town center proper, you see the open town gate, and a young girl darts by you, playing hoops and stick. And she waves, she smiles, she's like, "Hi!" And the first thing that you notice is there are several large gaps where teeth should be in her mouth. She's like, "Hi!" and goes by.
That's a strange tale.
That's unfortunate.
And
She's
shortly,
lost a lot of teeth.
yeah, and shortly when you sort of come in town, tall man in a sort of a brown trench coat comes up to you, sort of, he bends around the corner, and he is a little, you can tell he's wrestling between desperation and putting on a show, like, sort of being composed. And it's hard to tell which side of it he's airing on right now. But he makes his way up to you. Are you adventurers? answering the call that we put out.
Last time I checked.
Oh, that's great. Welcome to Theston. And he goes to kind of smile for a second, and he keeps his lips closed for a second, and he kind of considers, and he's like, no, Zahora, you should. Okay, welcome to Theston. And he smiles, and his mouth looks like a piano, polished whites, with like several kind of black gaps in there. Welcome to Theston. My name is Zahora Fully. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure.
Our note said something about goblins, or goblins and gremlins. Gremlins, sorry. But things have changed. We need help with of another kind. We'll still pay. But as we slept in our beds, then last night, it appears someone has absconded with many of our teeth. Teeth, yes. And we would like them back. I was left with this note. He pulls out this crumpled piece of paper. Does anybody, he sort of holds it out. Does anyone take that?
I stride forward heroically and grasp it. With my 0 intelligence modifier, I'm the one who should read this.
Well, it doesn't actually take any bonuses at all. You could read this with a deep negative. It is in very like childish handwriting. It's just sort of like, looks like sort of, scribbled in crayon or something. We have your teeth with an F. Teeth. You give us 10,000 go, and you're like not sure, like the zeros kind of the zeros are more of like a suggestion. It's sort of a like if you were to take a thing and just loop it off the side of the page. So like 10,000-ish maybe is what they're asking for.
10 squigillion.
10 squigillion. Meet us at Cadre Circle by midnight tonight.
Well, I'm going to pass that information on to the rest of the group, and then fold it and add it to my clues folder.
Ilda, I think you're probably the smartest of us.
Kind of.
What do you have to say?
That seems to be a problem. We have noticed teeth missing, so, he's not lying. I'll point to the gentleman.
And how widespread is this? Every single person, or?
Just about everyone's missing at least some teeth.
They're dedicated, I'll give them that.
And it was all just one night?
Yeah.
I mean, the way it's written, it sounds like it's written by children.
Yes. And we haven't been finding any clues. We thought it might be bandits, but we're not finding any clues to that. We just don't know what it could be. What we need is someone to go to that circle. We can't pay 10,000 quadrillion, whatever is on that note. We're incapable of paying. But we could use your help to see what that's about. Maybe if you could go there, maybe you could look around town for some clues, or talk to some people and figure out what they know, so we can,
excellent idea.
Do something.
I have a question. I have a question. So, Mr. Mayor, did you nor anyone in the town feel anything as your teeth were being purloined?
No.
Well, that's very
some of us woke up shortly after, in a pain, but none of us, or at least that no one has spoken up about it.
I had an uncle that lost a tusk once, and I tell you that was quite painful.
Mm.
He kind of gives you, yes, it sounds painful.
Did he
my
receive a
grandpa-
ransom note?
Hmm?
Did your uncle receive a ransom note?
No. Oh, no, this came out in battle.
That's unprofessional.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard of someone who steals teeth. I remember my former employer used to tell his children a demon called the Tooth Fairy would steal their teeth from beneath their pillows as they slept. But this doesn't quite sound like the same method. Normally, as I understand it, the Tooth Fairy leaves money, and this individual's asking for money.
I mean,
So,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, can I make a recall knowledge? See if I know
Sure,
anything about this.
make a nature.
Ooh, I'm decent at nature. Apparently, I'm more than decent at nature.
Oh, and a quick heads up as we're about to make our first roll of the game. We have in Pathfinder we have a thing called hero points. Here, they basically let you re-roll any check that you want, and if you're dying, they help you avoid that. What we're going to do is normally we keep like an individual thing. Everyone gets a hero point, and I can award it here and there. But as part of the stream, if people are donating, we're just going to have a pool of hero points that anybody can use whenever they need it. They don't like a result of the check. So with that said, we're right now at 7. Thank you, everyone. And so if you need it going forward, that's what we got, and we'll track it.
I don't want my character to die, so that'd be great.
Okay, but Cedric will not be needing that with a critical that he just rolled.
Nice.
So, you know that. So, unfortunately, the way you know it is a little reversed from how Harvey remembers it. It's that people typically pay off the Tooth Fairy. Like you leave a coin under they're little like tooth gangsters in this way, and that you leave money under your pillow to keep them off.
You know, Harvey, I think you might be onto something. Except for down in the South, it's more of an extortion racket. You see, you pay the money to keep the tooth fairies away from your children.
A tooth
Maybe
mafia.
Maybe the mafia works differently up. I'm not sure where you're from.
Our
But,
mafia is very friendly up north.
oh,
Very,
well
very
then.
friendly indeed. Very
then
altruistic
that's-
group.
Unfortunately, the Fey Mafia in the South's a little bit less understanding. So you pay protection racket. It sounds like you might be right on the right track, though. We were right to give the clues to you first.
So, will you help us, please?
I reckon.
Yeah, I guess Harvey looks at the rest of the group.
Oh, yeah.
I vote yes.
Sure.
I mean, we can pay
Sure.
similar what we were going to for the Gremlins. Fortunately, the Gremlins seem to be leaving us alone. We're having lots of trouble lately. But maybe you want to. I will. You can of course come by town hall and ask me anything that you need. But maybe you want to talk to folks around in the town. Maybe look around and see what clues you can get. I was like, thank you, and I will speak with you soon. And he goes off.
Thank
So
you, Sir
what-
Mayor.
So what do folks want to kind of do to look around or find some clues here?
Beyond just identifying these as tooth fairies, did I get any information about like what might be useful against them, or if there's anything that any attacks I should prepare for other than apparently getting my teeth ripped out?
Where are we specifically? Like we're on a path in town, or
You're like on the right. You're just inside town.
Okay.
There. So you still have to like kind of walk in to see what's around. But answering
I'd
the
like
question.
to look around for tracks. Whatever it is, had to be able to get in and out pretty quick. So I'm imagining something pretty small.
Yes,
Okay.
I'd like to help and maybe help look for fairy dust as well. I'm going to turn to Cedric and say, do the southern fairies normally leave fairy dust behind?
Fairy dust.
Tooth fairies, no.
No.
If anything, they leave kind of like, not to be gross about it, but they leave sort of remains of the teeth they yanked out behind.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Usually,
it can be a little messy.
Yeah. No, not usually any sort of fairy dust, but after they rip out the teeth and they eat them, they'll sometimes leave the roots behind, kind of like an apple core.
So we need to look for some roots?
Teeth roots.
All right.
Yeah, and so answering Cedric, your question for information. So since you like critted, so it doesn't give you like right now any sort of specific information on what's good on them. Like you actually no, I'll give you one thing, and but then also you will get because you kind of tap into this stuff, you'll give people a +1 aid on their checks. Right, it's just sort of like an auto aid that you'll get.
Awesome.
And you'll be the Tooth Fairy Whisperer in this next segment, and but also that you know that they probably why people didn't wake up is that Tooth Fairies, one of their few glamours is that they can cast sleep.
Oh.
So they can sort of knock you out. They are very rough dentists. And sort of that is their anesthesia.
Yeah. They can use magic to put you to sleep. No one should probably go off on their own then. You want somebody there to wake you back up.
Schnirzka. Would anyone else like to come?
And just so you know too, it's about midday. And that they want to, that note said wants someone to meet them at like midnight tonight at this place outside of town. That's about a few hours out. So you probably have about 5-6 hours to do some like investigating and talking.
Okay.
I think it might be a good idea to look for points of egress on people's houses, their windows burst open, to try and identify how they're getting in, what their movement is.
That's a good idea.
All right. I think that would be probably but thievery would be probably the closest to it, but I would take like a perception with a little.
Okay, I think I have a thievery. Okay, there we go. 25.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well, everybody is okay. That is crit for the DC. I said. And I'll just start announcing sort of the roles. Sometimes, some people keep it secret. Sometimes I tend to like keep it open. So that was a DC 15. There was a number you're trying to beat. So that in Pathfinder, anytime you get so 20 always 20s more or less always crit. There's some corner thing that I'm not going to explain that, but also anytime you get 10 or higher, 10 or more over your normal number you're going to get, that is also a critical. And if you get 10 or less, 10 under, sorry, that is a critical failure. So that's a notable difference in the system. So yeah, you critted with that 25. And so you actually, because Cedric's telling you about the tooth bits and dust, you actually, you go into town. People give you like odd looks and you're just like walking up the windows, right? They're like, what are you doing? And what do you do when they like, sort of like look at you weird and you're at their window?
Routine inspection of windows.
Oh,
County building inspector has shown up for a sudden inspection.
I'm standing behind her. I'm like a big guy, so I'm like pretty intimidating as is. I'm standing behind her.
It's like, you sort of like people sort of go through these range of like, and they just leave you alone. Like, you know what? Best not to get into this, and they just try and go about their business.
He's very good at fixing things, especially windows.
They're like, oh, okay. But then you go and examine at least on a few windows. You see the signs of sort of entry. You note that there's no footprints, right, anywhere. And you do sort of catch bits of like in the sort of broken windows and areas, sort of like small breaks, about like tiny sized breaks in them, and things. You in one you find like a left behind like little tiny teeth pliers that were left, and like fallen right outside someone's window, with the tooth still on it, or by it.
Keeping this.
Yeah. So I mean, you that definitely is supporting the small Pathfinder fairy theory pretty strongly. What else are you looking for?
I guess Harvey would strongly suggest returning that particular tooth to the person from whom it was taken. But would it be best if we? I can think of two potential courses of action. First of all, it sounds like we may need a little bit more information about these fairies and how to combat them. They're certainly different from the northern fairies. And secondly, it might be a good idea to stake out this meeting place so that we know the ins and outs in both a figurative and literal sense before anything goes down this evening.
Both good ideas.
I'm not good at staking out, so I think I'll keep investigating.
I'm good at being unnoticed when I need to be. And I'm going to assume this is outside of town.
Yeah, it's a few hours outside of town.
I could maybe stop and talk to some of the locals. See if maybe they know anything about it. Anyone else outside of town? Maybe we can find, be the proper term, their territory. If more people are missing their teeth on the eastern side than the western side, we'll get a good idea where they're coming from.
I, too, am quite good at not being noticed, despite my incredible charisma and lovability.
And the fluffiness of your tail.
Yes. I use my tail as a disguise. It's surprisingly effective. It looks just like a bush. But yes, I'd be happy to accompany you.
Fantastic.
Cool. So basically, it sounds like folks are like going to be. You're going to talk around town and get some info here. So I'm going to sort of get people's actions, and then I'll sort of make some rolls, and I'll come back around to everyone. Ilda, did you want to do anything?
I was going to follow Cedric.
Okay. All right. Cool. So then, so we're saying. Babarmagin and Schnurtska were kind of mostly on this one. Schnurtska, did you want to do anything?
So cantrips, I just cast those at will, right?
Yeah, cantrips you can cast anytime.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just do a detect magic.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, like we'll put we'll say you and Babarmagin were sort of doing this.
Yeah.
Back on that, and so you were using detect magic, so you also find just trace bits of like glamour, and magic, like a not enough to give it like a bonus or do anything, but like the pliers have it, and stuff, and you sort of find sort of like almost like little magical tiny footprints all over the place, by the windows and around the beds and stuff to confirm it. So now going back over here to your view. So you're kind of going to go around and find people to talk with. So,
I think so.
why don't all three of you give me diplomacy rolls?
Let's try.
Okay. Yeah.
Harvey's so charming.
I immediately trip.
Not too graceful, but
I meant to do that.
Ow. So the Harvey kind of, you're talking with people, and a lot of people sort of the general story you're hearing is, yeah, I was asleep and I woke up and I missing my teeth. Things have been weird, but I don't know much more about it than that. But then in talking, they point you to the blacksmith, the sort of busiest blacksmith in town. And it's like, oh, Zedra Vo. She's, if someone has some theory or maybe knows something about this, talk to her.
Zedra Vo?
Zedra Vo. And then we'll say, and really, the diplomacy role is just sort of who I'm giving what information to right now. Everybody's getting a little something right here. But in Cedric, you talking with folks, you come up with kind of the name Leah Vinelock, who's sort of the town's like. How they gently express it is, she's the resident know-it-all in town.
The gossip woman.
Some people not so nicely, other people sort of lovingly, like, oh yeah, she just seems to know things, and a little bit of exasperation, because she seems to like to tell all of the things she knows all the time. And Ilda, you're referred to the sort of local priest, Lauren Silius, who knows how he's been dealing with a lot of the fallout from all of these accidents and injuries that have resulted from that. So those are some names you have. Do folks want to talk to?
Absolutely. Well, it seems like we got some good leads here.
Yes.
Well, Elda, what would you suggest? You're a sleuthin' type.
I would think we should probably start. Maybe the priest, because he's the one dealing with everyone, and then the others have ideas. So we don't want our information to get mixed up with the ideas they have, just in case they're wrong. So start with the priest and see the after effects everyone's having, and then we talk to the people who have ideas, and we can put our two together, and two and two, pointing to all of us. We each have two.
True. Snurtska seems
me.
like the salt of the earth type of fella. I bet the blacksmith will probably connect pretty well with him too.
Sure.
So we have some equipment for them to look at. And I jingle the little flyers.
What in tarnation is that?
Something horrible.
Well, let's stop that before that's used on anybody else.
Yes.
I'm keeping it.
Doesn't seem particularly sanitary.
How would you get it back in? How do you get two teeth back in? Like, is that a reverse? Maybe that's what's magical about those things. They can go both ways.
Stick it in there, a little magical healing. That'll take care of it just fine. Or some juniper berries.
And I assumed the mayor knew how, since he said they want the teeth back. So this town must have some kind of secret to reinserting teeth.
Some sort of dental cement.
Mouth glue.
Clever.
So who wants to visit who?
Well, I guess I'll go see the blacksmith.
Okay. And who wants to see? Does anyone? Who's going to see Lauren, the priest?
I'll go.
I don't know much about religion, so I don't know if I'd have much to talk to him about.
And who wants to see Ilya?
Gossip, I think my character could probably do.
I'll tag along.
Okay.
Can I,
Harvey?
Can I make a quick side trip? Would it be accurate to say that this town is close to a body of water?
There's
one on the
nearby.
picture we have.
There's one in the picture, but
yeah, there's a river that cuts through it.
Would I be able to approach a fisherman and perhaps ask to borrow a net? if these fairies are as small as I'm hearing, it might be easier to catch them in some sort of net-like device. So I was going to ask to borrow a net as a preparation, just in case.
Okay, I like it. So we'll go through. I'll start with Zedra here, and I'll like alternate through now that we know sort of where everybody's going to be. So yeah, Snur's going to use walk, kind of, get directions to Zedra's, and once you get to a certain range, you can hear the clanging and see the sort of smoke from the forge. It becomes very easy to find. It's you get to her place. Are you walking in, knocking on the door?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I assume it's a blacksmith. They usually have some doors that are open because it gets hot in there. And,
right.
Well, I don't know what time of year it is. So,
it's fall.
Okay, it's fall. So, yeah. I would do whatever is. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna knock. I'm gonna walk in.
Okay. Yeah. So you like walk in.
Yeah. Open the door.
Hey. Like right into a sword, like in your face.
No. I'm
you're
sorry.
You're not one of them.
No. I'm sorry. There's a misunderstanding.
And let me know if do you see the handout?
I see it.
Awesome.
So she backs up and sort of lowers the sword and goes, so is there a reason you just walk in to my place?
Well, I mean, it seemed like you weren't here to answer, so I just I just invited myself in. Should I have not done that?
Probably not. But what can I do you for, stranger?
Well, we're investigating the missing teeth. Are you missing any teeth? He gets a little too close to her.
He's just like
looking at her teeth.
Excuse me. She sort of backs up. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm missing a couple of my back teeth. Oh,
okay.
So fey.
Yeah,
she just gets like really kind of angry for a second. She's like, "So fey, those darn fey, I hate them." And then you hear "Hey" in the background, and sort of like her assistant, like a gnome, kind of pops his head up like, "Hey, sorry, I'm just sick of all the shenanigans." So you're investigating. You're going to do something about it.
Yeah, that's the plan. Do you know anything?
I mean, I think that this is we're paying for this thing we did, but I don't. She's like, you can tell she's wrestling with
what
telling
what
you something.
There's something I missed. So has the town done something to make somebody angry with them?
And you can tell that you're going to need to do something to get that out of her, but hold that, and we're going to switch over to think about what you want to say to sort of convince or what you might want to do, and we're going to go to who do we want to do next? Priest, or yeah. Okay, Lauren. So Lauren, the door to the sort of priesthood is like always open. There's a line of people, kind of. You can just sort of see like people are, they've got so many sort of people dealing with things that they're like cots outside. Nothing fortunately is like too, there it's not, amputations or anything, but it's like, people are breaking fingers and springing shoulders and things like that and hurting themselves in these sort of semi-minor ways. And there's just sort of a line of cuts and people going in and out of the priesthood, whatever. And I'm assuming you just kind of go in?
Yeah. Just
okay.
Politely walking around people.
And so there's some of the sort of like the lesser priests and acolytes are helping people, and they're tending to them methodically, kind of slowly. But then in the back, there's this very tall elf in his garbs, much more fancier garbs than everyone else, and he's working very quickly. He's kind of like mend, heal, just sort of like friendly but firmly going, okay, now go, all right. And he's just sort of trying to like clear the line. Do you want to walk up and make introductions?
Yeah, I'll go. Hi, I'm Ilda. I know you're very busy. I'm very sorry, but we just my party's not here. Have a couple questions.
And he sort of turns around. Oh, more work. I'm taking it.
No.
You need me to do else? Who do you want healed? Where is it? Show me.
Oh, no.
Is it your shoulder? Is it your?
Oh no, I'm fine. No. The mayor hired my group to figure out what happened to everyone's teeth, and
oh, you're not going to go get them back, are you?
We were trying.
Who do you think is going to have to put all those teeth back in? Oh my God, I'm getting tired just thinking about it.
Oh, I'm sorry, but
yes. You just look so exhausted and weary right now. But
well, we want to help everyone here, and you're doing a great job at helping everyone. Has there been anything you've noticed with any injuries from the missing teeth that could help us figure out how they did it or anything?
I mean, it's very clean. They're very efficient. I mean, there's look, he kind of like drags one of the people over. He just sort of yelling like, "Look at this!" Or and he like kind of like that person's like, "What are you?" He was like, "Look, there's no marks here. There's no blood. I didn't even have to cauterize or anything. Just sort of clean it up. I mean, it's a little dirty, but it's not that bad. Thanks.
And it was all very sudden overnight. Did anyone wake up before anyone else? Or
not that I know of. I've come under suspicion a little bit, annoyingly, since I have, and he kind of smiles and he's like maybe one of the only people in town with teeth. But I don't know. I think that we could just, I don't know, maybe we could do like I've done with some other Fae problems in the past, and maybe see if I could cast some ritual and keep them out. But they keep telling me no. And we're gonna flip over to Ilya. So Ilya's house is basically a landfill of books. Just like there's books outside, there's like kind of like books like kind of like in front of the doorway. It's just a stockpile of books there. Who is it that's going there? It's Cedric and Barbarmagen?
Barbarmagen.
All right.
Are you good with people, Barbarmagen?
I have made my living on entertaining the masses. The one-on-one is not my specialty, but I can try.
Well, I'll be here to back you up. But unless they're the more farmer type, I'm not particularly. I didn't get out there very much to talk to a bunch of people. I'm more at home with the squirrels and the foxes.
Are there any
Well,
farming
Harvey and I
books?
get along so well.
Hmm?
I'm sorry?
Are there any farming books on the pile? Just quick scan.
Yeah.
I mean, basic treatise of wheat and grain.
Oh, last year's almanac. Oh,
Might have a connection.
well then.
I'm
How
tossing
about we
the book.
both give it a try, huh?
Teamwork is the best policy.
I'll let you knock so that they don't think that it's another Fae scampering up here to try to scare them.
I suppose that's a good idea. I'm just gonna walk up and gently knock and stand with my arms behind my back.
Okay. Come in.
Oh. I open the door and head on in.
They're mighty hospitable here.
So when you walk in, it's not just books that are all around. It's just piles of books. It is an episode of Hoarders, book edition, right? It's books. It's like alchemical agents. It's things bubbling in a flask. Don't go there. Don't touch that. It's just a lot of stuff sampled out and around. And somewhere in the pile, you kind of have to like navigate these sort of long columns of things to see the person, and eventually you go and you see Leah, and she sort of raises the guy and says, "Yes, what can I do for you?
Howdy.
Hello.
Have you come to learn something?"
Sure. Something of a more recent variety, I'm afraid. You seem to have a lot of knowledge here, but my companion and I are here inquiring about the tooth issue, or lack thereof.
Or teeth, however you pronounce it here.
Teeth. I've heard it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's dreadful, isn't it? Here we go, and you notice that she is missing a couple of teeth, and it's dreadful. I mean, I really, as long as I can, masticate food and, be able to orate and share knowledge. What do a few teeth matter to me? But I see that it's distressing everybody else in the town. I'd like to provide what help that I can, and I, could tell you about some things that I've been thinking about, if you'd like. And she, it seems really eager.
Absolutely. I'm just worried that these teeth fairy are going to be kind of like groundhogs. They start with a few carrots, but they aren't going to settle for just a few. Pretty soon you'll have no teeth left around here.
It's true. It sounds like you need some information.
Well,
Would be useful.
Great. So she's like, y'all know the theory of fairy confluence, right? And then she starts just going into like the grand unification theory of like Fey worlds, and then this and that, and she starts all the way at the beginning of maybe time and space to talk about this. And so what I would like for you to do before I flip over to the fisherman here is see if you can give me a diplomacy roll, or I'll take anything that you want to give a argument for, to see if you can get her to concatenate her talk and get to the point.
I guess diplomacy it is.
Hands off the wheel.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, that's it. They're just killing the rolls.
Roll
Cool.
20's liking me today.
Wow. All right.
I was about to say we sent the entirely wrong people over here.
Yeah, no.
Let's leave and come back with someone a bit more brainy.
I was gonna try and deceive her, but that seems sorted.
Well, we could throw that in there with it as well. But we'll get back to that in a second. So then we have Harvey is going out and talking to a fisherman about a net. So like you just go. Sorry. Hold on 1 second.
As I'm walking through the town, I'll just whistle a jaunty tune and be like trailing the tip of my tail in the water and like flicking the water, not at anyone, just like trying to like appear in like I'm wearing leather armor underneath like a duster coat. So it's like, and I don't look casual at all, but I'm just like, and I'm also heavily armed, but I'm just like, try to look as like full on, like happy walking Leo meme as possible. It's like,
and then you got, and you're doing that along by the river, and you come up, there's a, you're come up to a fisherman sort of working a net, and he sees you, and he just like stops, like, what are you so darn happy about?
Oh, well, I'm happy to be alive, sir. Very nice to meet you. I'm Harvey Remington. I won't waste your time. I am here on behalf of the mayor and really the town as a whole. You see, I am part of an adventuring troupe, and we have come here to help you with your teeth problem.
Sounds like nonsense. He starts going back to the fishing.
Well, wait. Am I to understand that you and your household have not been touched by the recent tooth thievery?
I mean, he stops for a second. Yes, but I mean,
well, all I ask is, as part of the investigation, we have come to the conclusion that this may have been some kind of action by the Tooth Fairy Mafia. And though I myself am not experienced with dealing with such tiny criminals, I did want to request. I was thinking about when I used to catch butterflies as a youth, and in my experience, one of the best tools for combating a tiny flying opponent or tiny opponent of any kind is a net. And that is why I am here, to humbly request from you that you allow me and my companions to borrow a net should things come to fisticuffs, which we hope they will not, but they almost always inevitably seem to. It's almost as if it's just the way things work.
Yeah, give me a diplomacy roll.
Okay.
And he's like, sounds like nonsense. And he kind of like goes back to the thing. Well, I'll let you go give it like one more try here, but I'm going to flip back over to Smirtska.
Okay.
So like, what do you do to try and get Zedra to open up?
Yeah. Yes. Well, sensing that perhaps things didn't go quite the way he intended at first, he's going to ingratiate her with some idle chit-chat knowledge. You always know that there are bears around when you can see sometimes bark gets rubbed off of trees, and they actually use the trees to scratch their back. Bears are really interesting. Yeah.
So are you trying? Is that Shinurska's version of
like
earthy wisdom? Is that like Is it like sort of like earthy wisdom that he's trying to?
He doesn't know what to say. He's trying to bring back an idle conversation or something. Yeah, sort of a buffer so it's not so rough. But he wants to ask more questions, and so this is meant as an idle chit chat. like, how's the weather? But he talked
Okay. So, but maybe, okay. So maybe, so make me, it sounds like you sort of want to make maybe like a nature roll, sort of using sort of like some of your knowledge on that. Does that sound right? Or do you want to,
well,
or diplomacy?
yeah, I think it's more of a diplomacy.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
bears are what he knows. So, all right. Yeah. Seven.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would do. And also, let me go back for a second for Harvey real quick. Just so you know, we have hero points. If you want to use hero points, we've got 8 in the pool. So if you want to use one for a reroll, go for it if you'd like. If everybody else is cool with that. So you make that roll, and I'm gonna go back here. So you open that up, and then Zedra sort of asks you sort of questions about bears, and as it turns out, like bears are kind of a thing that she studies and she's interested in, and it takes a little bit of talking before she kind of comes back to the thing. She's like, I would just want things to go back to normal, but it's like things have been off ever since we sent Migsy away.
Oh, so Bigsy's the key to all this, is it?
I think so. And she goes and she tells you sort of about this leprechaun that used to hang around Theston, and he was like Migsy was like Theston's mascot, basically. He was always there. Imagine this the heartwarming fantasy. Migsy's town, right? Where he's people are doing their stuff, and he's like this playful prankster, right? You open your door, and confetti comes flying down. It's like, that's Migsy, and but then imagine that people start growing up, they start getting older, and those pranks start kind of losing. People get used to it, they move on, and it just doesn't have
Sometimes they go a little too far.
Well, they start going too far, as it seems, because Migsy wanted to get people's attention back. People could just ignore all the pranks. He had 5 good pranks, right? And people started to get used to him, and then they were like, okay, this is inconvenient, right? Like eventually the confetti becomes right, like, and and
I gotta pick all this up now.
Right. And so Migsy started getting more creative, but also more harmful with the pranks. And it got about, as Zedra tells it, came to a head. People were trying to tell Migsy, hey, you got to stop, right? Like, people are getting hurt with your pranks, right? This is becoming not funny. And then it all came to a head when the mayor, Zahur Fully, slipped on a banana peel that Migsy put in there, and he positioned it right by a well, and he fell down the well and got hurt really badly, and it was in traction for months. And then it was like, okay, that's it. And so they had the priest cast the ritual to ban just Migsy from there. But that was 5 years ago. And sort of back in has Zedra, and she's like, but I think this is him. I think he's tied into this somehow. I don't think we should ever have done this. We should have done something else. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. And then we'll flip back over to Lauren. He was talking about the ritual, and you get a version of this story, his version of this kind of story, where he's just like, hey, we just had he doesn't mention Migsy by name. He's kind of trying to keep it there, but we had a troublesome Fae, and I just was gonna say, I'll tell you, I was trying to save myself work, so I just said, hey, let's just ban them all from the town. I could do it. I could talk with Ilya. We could find a ritual. We could do it. But they said no, just one. And I think it's a mistake. I think we should just keep them all out. But they disagreed with me, therefore making more work. how do you think? Or do you have any questions for him, sir? Before I have him go off.
Do you think anything went wrong with the previous ritual you cast? Did it ban just him, or did you maybe attract attention of others from doing it? Or
I don't know. We haven't seen Migsy. Oh, he's kind of sort of someone glares at him for a part, and he's like, whoops, he kind of slipped. But
don't say the name. Got it. Okay. I wonder, maybe he figured out that only he's banned, so others are coming. Interesting. That's an idea. I'd have to go talk to the others on that. Thanks.
He's like, before you go, if you, if you promise not to bring me too much work, here, take these. He hands you 3 healing potions.
Ooh. Thanks.
It'll beat me having to patch you up. So, don't bring back too many people. Thank you.
Got it.
And Ilya, who you have. How do you get her to shorten her very, very, very long history of the universe?
So, Cedric just kind of holds up a hand somewhere in the long history of the universe. Excuse me, ma'am. I'm just a simple country boy. I don't really understand a lot of what you're saying right now. Okay. And by that, I mean any of it. So, could you maybe give me the back of the can version of this, like the short and sweet? What incarnation are you talking about? Unless my friend here understood, at which point maybe I'm just the one that's lost.
Oh, well, I mean, sorry.
I think I have a good handle on this, but I think it'd be good to have a review.
Oh, yeah. If it's just me, I understand.
Oh, yes, I do rattle on a bit.
It's not the rambling. You're a very educated woman, and that's wonderful. But I just can't understand. So maybe just something. What do you think is going on here that's causing all this uproar? And how might we put a kebab in that?
Well, I mean, to be simple, I think to put it simply, I think there's some force that has united several disparate Fey tribes, from these gremlins to these tooth fairies, and is setting them to work against us.
Like some tooth fairy mafia dawn.
I think so. That would explain why we went from gremlins last week to tooth fairies today, all in a short time. I mean, the long version is really, if you have some time, I can make coffee, and we could talk about this for a few more hours.
Well, Ilda, who came here with us, she's very intelligent. I'm certain that she'd be happy to sit down with you and get the whole rundown. But it's going to go in one ear and out the other with me. So
I'd love to hear it later, but we have to catch up with our compatriots, and we have to circle back, and it's going to be a whole thing,
Yeah, we probably only have until midnight before these teeth fairy just make a big teeth stew, and no one's getting their teeth back at that point.
Teeth stew.
I'm assuming. I mean, it might be some sort of brisket.
I could go for a teeth brisket. I think that does actually.
It sounds kind of grimy to me, but all right.
A little crunchy.
Yeah.
Okay. So she bids you farewell. And Harvey, did you want to make that reroll for me?
Yeah. I would like to. I wanted to ask really quickly, how much would an adventurer's pack be worth? Because I have one. Basically, what I would like to do is offer to trade, leave this here as insurance. And if I fail to bring back his net, then he gets to keep my adventurer's pack.
Okay. I will say that's I feel like that is gonna, without like looking up the raw values at the moment. I'm gonna say that like seems like a pretty good deal to him. I will like, but he's also still kind of fundamentally feels that this is maybe not
Mm-hmm.
on the up and up. So I'll give you a +2 circumstance bonus on the diplomacy roll,
Okay.
on the reroll if you want to take it.
All right, here we go. Hey,
Okay. Yeah,
21.
that'll do it.
Or I guess
Um,
23 now.
So yeah, that definitely does it. He's like, well, I mean, really? He's kind of eyeing your.
I'm just gonna
Okay.
look around. I'm gonna look around and be like, "Look, sir, I'm gonna level with you. I need this. Please." We got a bunch of clues. Everyone else followed the actual clues that we were given. I went after this on a lark, hoping that it could really help us down the line. I'm making an absolute Hail Mary here right now. And if I come back here empty-handed, I'm going to look like a fox who got his tail cut off. Please, just, I promise you, this is for the good of you and your town and for the good of my self-esteem. Will you please allow me to leave this with you and I borrow the net?
He's like, sure. Swap.
I clasp his hand very tightly with both of my paws. Like, thank you. I clutch the net to my chest and walk away, sniffing back tears of joy, having left my adventurous pack with the man.
Okay. Nice. Great. And then Snurchka with Zedra sort of like, you kind of like, she gives you sort of this run, and kind of before she sends up, she actually goes, so if you're going after them and meet Migsy, if he's behind this, you give him this for me. And you sort of and she hands you the sword that she was pointing at you is a short sword.
Yes.
But it looks like when you look at it, you recognize it as like a cold iron short sword.
Okay. Cold iron short sword. All right.
And then everyone sort of will bring everyone together, sort of to share knowledge here.
All right. Can I do a detect magic on that short sword?
Yeah, it's not magical. It's just the material. But probably pretty common knowledge that like cold iron works pretty well on Fae.
Okay.
As we're reconvening,
Mhm.
I want to kind of look at Harvey and say, "What, Harvey? What happened to your backpack?"
Oh my God, were you robbed?
Oh no, I surrendered it as a trade to earn us this, which I hope will serve us well should things become armed conflict. And I hold out the net to the rest of the group, saying, I think it could be useful for catching fairies or any other small creatures that we need to.
Well, that's good thinking.
Clever.
For a moment, I thought you were going to abandon us and become a fisherman, but this is certainly the more preferable option.
Oh no, I'd need to fail much worse before I did that. I haven't crossed it off the list, but it's a little bit. It's the next one down.
We'll see where the day takes us.
Yes.
Well, I don't think we really. Barbergen, did we learn anything?
No. I'm going to. Well, can I like try and think through what I heard and try and discern something from the nonsense?
I mean, I think when you're, you can sort of use that to piece together, like where she's talking about that there's sort of like a group of people being united. You can link that with the stuff that Snurchka learned about Migsy, and also sort of like the stuff that Ilda learned. You probably enough to sort of make the picture sort of a little clearer
Okay.
there.
She may have lent more credence to the Fey mob idea. As distressing as that does sound as a genuine entity.
So this is like some sort of leprechaun Dom mafiosa.
Interesting.
Let's just hope it's nobody's wedding.
Oh,
No.
Well, they might have to accept our request if they follow the northern Pixie Mafia rules or Fairy Mafia rules. So am I to understand then that this Migsy, who was sent away by the town, may now be acting as an acting Don for the fairy mob?
That seems to be kind of the direction this is going.
One
And maybe
way to
this
put
is
it.
just me, but I feel kind of sympathetic towards this Migsy. You know, I had an uncle of mine who tried to make it in comedy. It's a rough show.
Performers are often underappreciated.
Yes.
That's true. That seemed to hit kind of close to home there for you.
Would diplomacy be a better route than violence?
I mean, I'm all about avoiding violence if we don't have to do it.
Yeah.
It simply occurs to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, team, but it sounds to me that this is a problem that exists between the townspeople and the Fey folk. And I don't feel comfortable being with us being the sole brokers between these two groups. If we're going to try and negotiate, would it not be right to bring a representative of the town with us? Say the mayor?
That's not a bad idea. What do you think,
I
big
just-
guy? He turns over towards Schnitzka.
Well, I'll tell you,
Say it with this.
I wonder if rather than kicking Migsy out altogether, provide Migsy with a venue where he can practice his, a place. Hey, be funny, but try to be funny in here, Yeah. If he wants
Like
to get into comedy, then give him a head start.
Like an immersive
a comedy
theater?
tavern.
Yeah.
Yes.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, that might be what he needs the money for. Maybe he's just looking to try to set up a venue for himself and try to make a break. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, the three of you, he gestures over towards pretty much everyone but Snurska and himself. The three of you seem to be pretty flamboyant sort of folk. At the very least, very intelligent sort of folk. I mean, maybe you could help him with his routine. It's worth a
Possibly.
shot.
So now, do you folks still want to go and try and they still have to get their teeth? Do you want to go there at midnight, or like where are you trying to?
Would it be worth going there at midnight with a representative of the town to try and talk it through?
If you want to try to see if the mayor wants to come, I'm just afraid that he might be too afraid to leave town.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty fearful right now, and he's kind of, I think he would probably he'd be really resistant, especially because he's sort of paying for this, and if you bring up Migsy, he will kind of just deny it and do that. So he probably wouldn't want to go.
This is just a thought, but that Lauren fellow you were talking to, the priest?
Yeah.
Oh, you said he didn't miss any teeth, and he seems to be kind of the man responsible for this situation. I think if we are going to broker a peace, he would be the one that would probably most need to extend the olive branch.
That's possible, but he had a lot of work and doesn't want to work anymore. So
what if we offer to help? I mean, I have some field training.
I can do a heal. I'm certain I can help with putting teeth back in.
I mean, I was mostly just in charge of taking care of the mules, but I know how to take care of folks. I mean, from what I understand, veterinary practice is harder than traditional medicine.
As part of bodyguard training, we were taught a very relaxing massage. So if need be, I can relax the patients and anyone else who needs it while the procedures are being performed.
So maybe we just ask him to help us, and then we offer to stay on for a week and help lighten the load.
That's very possible. Oh, speaking of healing, healing potions, and I'll give 2 to whoever wants.
Yeah, and he'll actually sort of agree to it. He because it basically beats him doing what he's sort of like, I don't know what you're expecting me to do, but I'll try, right? And we're just like, and it's an excuse for him to not be in the infirmary for a long time. So Zahur is also very insistent. Like he's like, well, it's like you got to at least get our keep back. Here.
Well, yeah, we're going to try to make an exchange, but I'm assuming like the mayor's there whenever we're chatting to all of them, or if we get a chance to speak to the mayor beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you considered letting Migsy back in? You kind of forced him out into the cold, and I know he might have been a pest, but this was his home.
He was hurting our people, our children. We asked him to stop many times. He
was hurting people
with his pranks. He was starting to seriously hurt people. If you heard about him, then you might have heard where I fell down a well and was laid out for several months.
Did you try to talk to him and establish some boundaries?
Multiple times. And he just insisted that was Migsy's way.
Maybe we can.
We thought that would just be reasonable and keep him away. If this is his doing, then it seems even more that we should take. It feels like we should take even more extreme measure to keep him away. And he seems pretty set on his way. That
might I make a suggestion? How about we simply talk it out, and if we're unable to come to an accord, it does sound as though Migsy though he may have been wronged in his own way, it does sound as though he's ultimately the aggressor in this situation. And frankly, at this point, I'm not sure if the punishment fits the crime from his end in terms of the havoc that he's wreaking in this town. I think if Migsy forces our hands or paws, depending on what we have, we may have to exert some force.
I'm not opposed to this.
As a last resort.
Yeah.
As a last resort. It's simply a suggestion.
As a last resort.
Makes sense.
And sort of Lauren even speaks up and is like, I did, and they wanted to stop me from doing this, but I did it anyways. And he kind of pulls out this like little, this is like cold iron 4-leaf clover kind of thing. And he's like, if we put this on him, it will just send him back to the Feywild, where he can bother no one else. I wanted to do this before, but they said they wanted to just live peacefully with him and see what he's done. This will save me a lot of work.
I have an idea.
And maybe he'll be happier there.
I have an idea, and it's maybe just crazy enough to work. Instead of forcing this on him, is anyone here particularly good at convincing people to do what you need?
So I'm gonna let that comment hang for a second. Let's take a short break. Right? And we'll take a 10-minute break. Is that enough for take a quick 10-minute break, and then we'll be right back, and then we'll wrap up, or we'll do a second. Sorry.
Hi, guys. This is your disembodied voice. I just wanted to let everybody in the chat know that we will be doing a giveaway during the break. This giveaway includes awesome things like an STL for a custom miniature from Eldritch Foundry, some Acquisitions Incorporated company tokens from Penny Arcade, Geek Grind Coffee released a Pathfinder themed coffee that we will give away, and we will also be giving away from Paizo a Pathfinder beginner box. So the keyword will be tooth. I will get that running in a second in the chat, and I'll let you know via the Twitch chat when the giveaway has started. And you can sound the horns. Let's slip the dogs of war. You know what? The Shakespeare's getting away from it. For me, let's go to break. Welcome to Jasper's Game Week on Hearthsinger Games. I'm your host, Anne Richmond, aka Hearthsinger, the head bard in charge round these parts, and my Twitch and YouTube channels provide weekly TTRPG content with advice, news, and actual plays. You might also know me from the Lost Mountain Saga podcast, my work with the Glass Cannon Network, or the Starfound podcast. May 8th through 10th, I'm partnering with Paizo and awesome folks from all around the tabletop RPG community to bring you 4 incredible Pathfinder and Starfinder stories each day from noon to 1:30 a.m. Eastern, all in support of an amazing cause. Jasper's Game Day is a 501c3 charity that supports suicide prevention and awareness efforts. And their goal is to invest your donations in services that work to prevent suicide before it happens, rather than simply responding to the devastating aftermath. In the past, they have mobilized donations to support the American Association of Suicidology. They've rescued a teen suicide hotline that was going to have to shut its doors. They've donated to Lighthouse for Veterans and a crisis center with a focus on assisting minorities and girls at risk in the DC area. And starting now, we'll be raising donations for Jasper's Game Day at the address on the screen right here until May 11th. So please give generously if you're able to and help to spread the word. Here on my channel, I will be hosting some amazing storytellers for 3 days straight. You'll enjoy killer combos of all of your favorite players and game masters from Actual Play podcast and Twitch streams, joined by our auction seat winners who have already supported Jasper's Game Day with thousands of dollars in donations just for the opportunity to join the fray. You'll even find me running and playing a few games myself. So make sure to give me a follow on Twitch to support content like this being made in the future. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can explore the VODs for any games you might have missed during the event. You guys didn't think I was going to send you on a quest without offering you some fat loot in return. Why am I becoming a Skeksis? I've been working my little butt off to make sure that there will be plenty of chances for you out there watching to win giveaways during every show. There will be beginner box giveaways for Starfinder and Pathfinder from Paizo to help you tell your own stories at home. There will be STL vouchers from my friends over at Eldritch Foundry to help you bring your own characters to life as stunning customized miniatures, and Acquisitions Incorporated currency tokens from the awesome folks over at Penny Arcade. So tune in for your chance to win and spread the word. So thank you for joining us for this important and joyful celebration of the good we can do when we play together. Now get out there and live your quest life. Bye! Richmond, aka Hearthsinger, the head bard in charge around these here parts, and you've made it. You've made it here to Hearthsinger Games. Here on this channel, I make tabletop RPG focused videos and product reviews. I give my tips for running and playing games like Dungeons and Dragons and Starfinder, and of course, I tell a few stories from my own adventures at the table. Like you've been crying a lot is definitely the look for Strahd. And if you stick around long enough, you might hear me burst into song. And don't you dare look away. 'Cause I need you to know I'm gonna go bag that arc fay. At last can rest his weary bones. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world. What would I give? Make that you will hear me burst into song. You might also recognize me from over on Twitch, where I embrace the spirit of adventure. Okay. You know who's not gonna go first? The wizard. Oh God! Terror. The little like thing sticking. Oh my God! There is this lucid right there. Oh God. Oh, where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? Oh, God! This is fine. This is fine. This is fine.
And aren't you supposed to, like,
you know what?
And shit?
Okay, put your little mouth away. Put your little mouth away! Let the existential dread creep in. What can I say? I'm a girl who wants to decorate her fake world because she has nothing else to live for. Did I say that out loud?
Away we go.
And roll some dice in some tabletop RPG actual plays.
Do you want to be defined as just identifying things all the time?
No.
How's it feel? How's it feel?
Bad. You make me feel bad. I feel bad.
I also like stars.
Stars are
Me too, says Amaruk, and she comes over and like this big wolf just shrinks down into the little like hunchy thing, like how we used to talk to kids at Ren Fair. We get down with them. And he's like, me too, and it's just the biggest anime grin and sparkle eyes ever. What kind of stars do you like?
Spark twirls the ends of its whiskers.
Yeah.
All of them.
Me too. Oh my God. All in all, I spend my whole life trying to make a boatload of riveting content for you out there, the baby bards. So if any of that sounds up your alley, subscribe to my channel for weekly videos and new adventures beyond every horizon. Welcome to Hearthsinger Games, where I live my quest life.
All right. So you've kind of gotten Lauren with you, and I will not sort of to reduce overhead. I will not introduce him as a full character or anything like that. He is like floating around in the NPC neither whilst the battle is going on. What I will say mechanically is that he is a source, an exhausted source of healing. All right, so he may complain and roll his eyes, but he will basically give you an extra heal in between the battles if you need it. But otherwise, not mechanically taking part. And so it's just Zahura kind of implores you to go find, go to that thing, get those teeth, and then do whatever he's like, do whatever else you need to, but get us our teeth. So you make your way over to the Cadre Circle.
Are we going there before midnight, or are we going there? I was going to suggest we probably ought to go there a little bit before, stake it out for like an hour or so before, or are we just going to go right and meet at the time?
I agree with Schnitzel. Excuse
Yeah.
me. Shirts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think scouting out the location wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay. Essentially, sort of, short version of it is like they don't kind of come till actually, no. Make a perception check. Everybody, make a perception.
Let's see.
Monster rolls.
I was going to say, we're all tightly packed right
No
into the
one has gotten below a 20.
What is going on with these? I mean,
wow.
All right.
Roll20's being generous.
I'm glad my players don't have these rolls.
Forgot how powerful first level, second edition characters are.
Man. All right. Roll 20 RNG, bringing the heat.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody's just like eagle eye, like bring it on. All right. All right. So y'all are just gonna sort of force me to readjust where they would come from. That's okay. No, this is perfect. This is fine. This is good.
It's like we all have like binoculars. We all.
What's going on? We all flip on our night vision and stealth our way forward.
My ears
Sam
are like
Fisher style.
are full on like satellite dishes, like rotating to like catch every sound.
Yeah. So you're staking out in place, and you don't kind of you're looking. You might hear some sort of like rustling or stuff. You're pretty sure you see sort of at a couple times before then some sort of creature try and like set up in ambush around like the tree area here around, and then kind of you're looking over at them and they sort of like notice you noticing them and then scamper off. So then when the time comes, coming out like right in just the front space here is there we go. Hold on. Sorry.
I think they're planning on counter ambushing us.
Yeah.
Clever girl.
They are all collectively a single girl. A single clever girl. It was the only
way to make the quote work.
It's what you call a group of fairies. It's a girl of fairies.
It's a girl of fairies.
So they're these sort of two fairies come out, and just to make sure we get the visuals, they sort of like come out of the trees, and one's got like their leader has like a big leather jacket on and like kind of like a mohawk. So picture one of these things with like a leather jacket and like a mohawk, and a big bag of like teeth, like maybe a little heavy for it, and was like kind of like dragging a bit. So two fairies. And good luck sleeping tonight. There's your nightmare fuel for today.
Great.
And and they come out, and so the one with the leather jacket and the mohawk, comes and he's just like, oh, you think you've been stalking us out. You think you see us, but we see you seeing us, and we are going to take your teeth, and we're going to keep these teeth, and we're going to take your teeth. Get them, boys! And sort of like they just sort of come rushing out, and so we'll just do initiative. So now here's I'll give you how this is done in Pathfinder, and also I'm going to we don't need to roll actually. So I have a little macro in Roll20 that does group initiative. So I'm just going to select everybody and then do initiative, so we can take care of that whole part. But normally, you'd roll your perception. roll d20, add perception. Or if you were doing something like hiding or some other action, you could use the skill that you were last using before combat starts to do initiative. But everybody was, we all know you were using perception because you were using it very well. So we're just going to roll that into combat. Group initiative and sort. Cool. So quick primer on combat in Pathfinder. It will be different from a lot of other D20 actions. There's no actions aren't broken into like standard move or minor. You get 3 actions and 1 reaction per turn, and you can use them to use them however you can. Most spells take like 2 actions, say, so you could like cast a spell and move, or cast a spell and attack. Drawing an action, drawing a sword might take an action. Things like that. I'm gonna assume, since y'all have been kind of like watching Eagle Eye, that I'm not gonna make you spend an action to draw a weapon, because I'm sure you had it out whilst you were eyeing them down. And any other questions here we'll field as we do it. A lot of other stuff works like it is in D20 games, like armor class, that kind of thing. So here we are, and a tooth fairy comes flying in. He's a ruler. All right. And yeah, this one just kind of moves in up to position here. This one does. Oh, yeah, I can fly over to Babarmajin and has 1 action left. It attacks with its pliers.
Bring it on, little man.
And a 12 versus your armor class. I'm assuming he's going to miss. It goes right for the teeth and gets nothing. And Schnurtzka.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast Shield.
Okay. Great. So that takes 1 action.
And then, let's see. I see my friend Babarmajin is under attack, so I'm going to cast Forbidding Ward on him.
Or on her.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Okay. And you sort of who is the enemy that you're going to target? The one in front of him, in front of her.
Don't I cast that on an ally?
You cast it on an ally and 1 enemy. You basically sort of
those 2.
Keep.
Okay. Well then, yes, the tooth fairy in front of her.
Okay. So you drop sort of a sort of shielding magic between them, and Babarmajin will get a +1 status bonus versus armor class versus that tooth fairy, and then that is your 3 actions, because you spent 1 for shield and 2 for the Forbidden Ward. And just so you know, so how shields work in Pathfinder, I really kind of like the implementation is when you raise a shield or cast a shield spell and raise it up, then when you get hit, so it will give you a bonus to your armor class, which you have now, but then also when you take damage, you can use a reaction to shield block, and then that'll take some of the damage, it'll take damage off equal to the shield, and then you'll split the damage between you and the shield.
Okay.
So we'll get to it when it comes to it, but I just wanted to give you the rundown. Great. Cedric.
All right. So Cedric is going to one action pull his crossbow, second action load his crossbow, third action fire his crossbow.
I will say that you. I was saying that you guys have weapons drawn
up?
because you've been alert this whole time. So.
Oh. Well, that makes this a whole lot easier. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's going to take his crossbow. He's going to use his first action to hunt prey. Okay. And let's go ahead and.
The American.
Let's go ahead and take care of leather jacket wearing Tooth Fairy.
Ooh, okay.
All right, I'm gonna go for the muscle there.
Okay.
So first action hunt prey. Second action is going to be to fire. And ooh, that's a good roll.
Yeah, that was a.
Oh, roll 20 is working out well for me today.
Yeah. The RNG is strong. I mean, thank you everyone for the hero points, but the way with the heat they're rolling, this just might be a not used. But yeah, no. So 23 hits, does not crit.
Okay.
And you're doing 1 plus 3 for the crossbow ace.
Yes, and I should do an extra D6, and maybe I pressed the wrong button there. Or sorry, an extra D8 because of my hunt prey and my precision ranger hunter's edge.
Do you have precision on the sheet there? On like one of the. Hold on, let me look at your sheet.
I apologize for that delay.
Oh no problems. There's always a. Do it. Okay. Yeah. So under your hunt, on the right side of your front character sheet, under actions, there's the hunter edge.
Okay. So add an additional 3 points of damage to that.
So, yep. So 7. Okay.
And then for my third action, I'm just gonna take a little step back here next to Harvey.
Okay.
All right, I'm out of your way. Oh. Go nuts, kid.
Yeah, like you shoot and dig it like right in Dirty Muller's thing. He's like, Dirty Muller is hurt.
That's a terrible moniker.
Yeah.
He refers to himself in the third person. Harvey approves.
Nah. All right.
Ilda.
Okay, so how does sneak attack work in Pathfinder?
So sneak attack will work whenever someone a target is flat-footed to you, you will do extra damage.
And then flat-footed means they haven't gone before me.
Flat-footed. You can be flat-footed. A million things, like if they're prone, if they're if you flank them. Yeah. I believe you get if they haven't. Do first level rogues get surprise attack?
I don't believe so.
It's another action surprise attack.
Okay.
Surprise. Okay, so they do. So yes. So if they haven't acted yet,
that's
then you have they're flat-footed against you.
Okay. And then what is movement in? Like, it's an action to move, but
it's an action to move, and you move your speed for the stride action. So basically, you can take a stride action. You move 25 feet, which is going to be 5 squares.
All right. I just finally now found speed on the sheet. I've been searching from the moment we started. Okay. Let me go ahead. I'll just probably go up to the one that got close to us. I'll use my first action up to this one here. And then go ahead and just do a normal attack with the short sword.
Okay. That is a miss. And you have another attack, so you can attack multiple times just from the start in Pathfinder. But each attack you make gives you a multiple attack penalty. So subsequent ones, your second attack takes a -5, your third one takes a -10. You'll see on your roll there, it has the attack number 2 and attack number 3.
Yeah.
So if you want to take the second attack, you can click that, and it will take that. It will include that penalty.
Okay. I'll go ahead and just try it again. Yeah.
All right, more misses. Sort of is just sort of swinging around your sword. You're like, I'm trying to stab it. Cool. And then, which of the fairies? Must be this one. Okay. Doop. Okay. Moves over here and attacks Ilda for this last action. Uh, 11 versus your armor class. I'm going to assume that misses.
Miss, yeah.
Yeah. So you're sort of it's a sort of a dance of pliers and short swords right now, like ting 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 ting. Then this guy. And then you'll note too. So like Dirty Muller's calling out the thing, but he's like, he's calling out their names, and they're all just sort of like these weird like adjectives ending in Y plus tooth type, right? So he's just like, filthy cuspid, go get them. It's like, yes, boss. And filthy cuspid tries. Gets into 2, 5. Hold on. Right. Ooh, okay. He's going to, it's like, filthy cuspid, get him. And he comes up, and then he kind of like throws some weird toothy magical dust towards Cedric, and you feel a little sleepy. So make us a will save versus me, DC 13. Oh, just made it.
By the skin of my still in my mouth teeth.
Yeah, you're just like, something keeps you sort of awake there. Maybe you like pinch yourself or something. But you're still a little drowsy, so you'll take a -1 penalty to your perception checks for 1 round.
I think I'm a little past my bedtime.
And then grindy premolar, go get them. And that same magic goes on Schnertzka. If you can make a will save for me, 13 or higher you need to get.
Will save. All right, where do I find that?
It's on your.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. Strong of will.
Okay. You basically just like you just see the sort of dust comes over your head, and you're just like, achoo! You just
I'm
like
a big
sneeze
guy.
it
You
away.
have no idea how much I can take.
You're a sleep dust tank.
Yeah.
Oh man, Dirty Molar goes over here and goes takes cover in here. So he gets sort of a bonus for his armor class and sort of does he hide? Yeah, maybe I think he hides. So so people can try and seek for him if they want, but right now he's tucked in there. And then the last of the two fairies goes and it's gonna try. Yeah, I think it's gonna move and try lead out with a sleep on Babarmajin.
Oh no.
Shoot. Give me 13 will.
I will steel myself and roll a 10.
Oh. Do you want to use a hero point?
I absolutely will. So renew my will for a 19.
Hey.
Woo! Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, you're also just kind of I like to say it like almost like when it gets on your face, maybe you sort of go a little flush and like burn it off, like you just like raise your heat up a little bit, and, and it just flares away. And Harvey.
All right. I'm going to first turn to Babarmajin and say, or Babarmajin and Ilda, and say, do either of you need assistance?
I wouldn't say no.
Yeah.
I'm on my way. And I turn to Schnurtzka and Cedric and say, I'll be back and try and take on those after this. And Harvey
See what I can do to thin the ranks.
Harvey has the net. He has the cold steel short sword in one hand and the net over his shoulder like a matador in the other, over his other shoulder, and he's going to use a movement action to run forward towards the. Am I allowed to take other actions in between my movement action, or is it I can only move one time and I have to move my full movement, or if I don't use it all, then I can't move the rest of it?
Yeah, like a move action is one discrete unit, and then like there are abilities that let you sort of play around with that, but generally it's like you move and then like what are you trying to do?
Well, I was hoping what I wanted to do was basically run as far as I could along the front lines, attacking as many of them as I could get along the way. Like, you see how, like, I wanted to run kind of in front of Schnurtzka, Babarmajin, attack that tooth fairy, and then kind of move on towards the next one.
I mean, you could probably move and attack that one first and then sort of move to the other one, but it just doesn't, the other thing too is combat rounds are about 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So like in about 6 seconds, you probably get to that one attack and then move the other one. There are some abilities that let you do something like what you're describing, but you just don't have that yet.
I have double slice. Would I be able to use double slice to run up, throw the net over the tooth fairy that's currently engaging Babarmajin, and then hopefully catch it and then stab it with the short sword?
So you want to sort of like net then?
Yeah, net then stab.
Throw.
So that hopefully it's kind of restrained, so I can then poke it with the short sword. It doesn't specify that it says melee weapons, but I think the net can be used in either way. I don't know what the exact classification is.
Right. So a lot of what you do with a net is like you use it to make a maneuver, like a grab maneuver. So you can like make a grab maneuver with the net, and if you want, and that would sort of grab it and stuff, and then leave it flat-footed to your next attack. Or you could, honestly, with these ones, your double slice with the two swords might just kill it.
Yeah.
Likely to just kill it, but that's essentially how it works. It's sort of like it's more like a maneuver you make with that, and then the other one. So it would just have to make the normal attack, the normal grab attempt. With the net.
That's absolutely fine. I'd like to run over to that one and make a grab attempt.
Okay.
Let me. I don't actually trying to look for. I guess I'll click net. Should I click net?
Yeah, click that.
Oh.
I think it just tells me what it is.
Sorry. It doesn't have it on the front there.
Let me go back to the front.
I don't use nets much. This is like the one weapon I don't see much.
I very rarely see these used, so this is exciting.
I mean, so I'm like I definitely would like to entertain it. So, it's we will learn something today.
Where is grab located? Because the net is not on the front page.
Here. Let me just see your. So generally, So how to make a grab attempt is just an athletics check.
Okay.
So and normally what you need a hand free and all this other stuff to do it, but the net is just like a weapon that will let you grab stuff. So if you want to just give me the athletics.
Okay.
And I know I know I'm probably missing something with the net rules. Folks watching on chat don't see them used often, so I'm just improvising on the fly.
Sounds close enough.
And 20
athletics.
Seems reasonable. 20 athletics. And how it goes is basically you'll make the athletics, and then I compare it to their sort of passive fortitude. And if I ever ask you for a passive, any of you for a passive fortitude, will, or reflex, it's basically your fort, reflex, or will plus 10.
Okay.
And so then I'll make that versus those. But you get them. So you throw the net on it.
Awesome. I would like to then stab it with the short sword, the cold steel short sword.
Okay, so the grab counts as a attack. What you'll do is when you attack with a short sword, you'll see on the number 2 button.
Mm-hmm.
This is your second attack. You can just click that.
Yeah. Do I get any pluses to it because it's currently restrained?
Yeah, you'll get it. It'll be flat-footed.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, here we go.
Oh.
Can I use a hero point to reroll?
Sure, go for it.
Okay.
Oh.
Even
worse. Okay. You get sort of like caught up in the net, and like you're just not used to attacking things in the net. So you sort of like stab at it and get your sword kind of tangled up in the net.
Oh boy.
You don't want to cut the net because you got to return that.
Yes,
so
I'm
be a
going...
little cautious.
Yeah, don't
Yeah, I'm just going to stand there holding the net so that hopefully it's somewhat restrained.
All right.
This thing is flat-footed in front of you, and you're playing a swashbuckler, right? So you can do sort of different things to get panache and style. And anything from sort of performance or tumble through, or what do you want to do anything like that to get your panache?
Yes, I am specifically a wit swashbuckler, which means that I trade on my witty replies, and so I have an ability called Bon Mot, where I can mock someone for a bonus. So when you say, "Ha! Caught in a net, struggling on the ground while your ruler grovels in the corner. There's nothing left for you." And I'm going to make a diplomacy check. Which I should be trained in diplomacy. It doesn't list me as trained.
Really? You can, if I missed that, you can fix that here.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. A 9 for my taunt.
We still have, 3 hero points?
Yeah, hero point.
You know, I'll do it to make sure my taunt lands. 10.
Wow.
Okay.
Roll 20 has abandoned this.
I suppose. So I guess I'll just go with a standard short sword. I can't do my finisher without the panache.
Yeah,
but...
like you give out your taunt, and it's like, Squishy Muller doesn't care what you say. Which is their taunt back. I guess it works.
Yeah.
So you still have 2 actions left.
Yep.
You
so
can't
I'll short sword with a 21.
Oh, that'll hit.
All right. Yeah, for 5 damage.
Hey.
Okay. Ouch. That hurts it quite a bit.
Okay.
And second action?
For my last action, I'm going to use another swashbuckler ability, which is all for one, where I can use an action to inspire an ally with diplomacy up to 30 feet away.
Nice. Who are you inspiring?
Ilda. Ilda, keep focus. Aim for the center mass. I know you can do it.
Got it.
What does that give?
I believe on her turn, when she attacks, I can use a reaction to roll diplomacy to try and help her.
Okay, so you get like an aid.
Yeah, it's aid.
Okay, cool.
And if I succeed, I get panache from that.
Ooh, okay, nice. Great. And we're back up the top with 2 fairies. So one thing I should note here, because I'm getting ready to move. This is one thing super different from 5e. Almost very few people have attacks of opportunity. So I'm going to move this Fae here. The only person in your party who has an attack of opportunity is the fighter, Harvey. So attack of opportunities are a thing that when you see them with a monster, it's usually because it's like some sort of special combat training, and then it's something that you have to spec into. So the battlefield's a lot more opened up in that way. So just so you know, when I'm making these moves, it's like, no, you threaten act. No, I most of the time I don't. And so so this one moves into a flanking position on Ilda and attacks. This will have a +2 on it. Does 22 hit armor class?
Yes.
Okay. So that is 5 bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
And if you want, I can mark the damage on, like I have the token view up here, or if you want to mark it on the sheet. Either way is fine by me.
Yeah, you can do it on the token if you'd like.
And then
blood spray is a nice effect.
Yeah, it was a cool little macro. So then it goes to tug out a tooth.
Oh no.
Yoink! And so you're going to take 2 persistent bleed. So on the end of your turn, you're going to take 2 bleed damage from the yank.
Oh, no.
I'm just going to put this thing here so we know. And that's his action. Pass it to this one, who's caught in the net. It is going to try to make a escape attempt. I'm just going to say it's
I think I saw on the inventory what it was.
DC 16, I think.
16?
Yeah, it's DC 16.
Okay, perfect. So it will make a... Oh, God, it has no... okay, so it's just rolling a straight D... I can use acrobatics for escape, right?
It says athletics, I think.
Is it only athletics? Okay. Then it's rolling straight up. So it's going to make a first action to try and attempt. No. It's like... and yeah, it'll after it can't escape, it like looks over at Harvey and just like Squishy Molar hates you, and blows dust at your face.
Oh no.
Give me that will save, DC 13.
Okay. Yes. 15.
Nice. And you sort of fan it away
with my tail.
Yeah. Snertska.
Okay, so my first question, I think that answered. Flanking is a thing.
Yep.
So, My first action will then be, whoops. Move here to flank. Then I will use my great sword. Where is it? Where is it? What am I? Character. There we are.
Oh.
Hey.
Yeah. That was
Hey.
That hits? Yeah?
24. Yep. Almost crits.
Okay.
So close.
And boom. You just come and just like batter like to make it so it's easier to hit, like you, instead of cutting with a sharp end, you sort of get more surface area by like turning it sideways, so when it tries to dodge, you like crack it like a bat. Cool. Was that move, attack? You got anything else, or is that it? Or did it take...
Let's see. Do I have any? Somebody needs to be healed. So Ilda, I think you need to be healed. Let's see.
So your one action heal is range touch. Your two action heal is ranged like 30 feet or so, and then three areas of three action is a burst. So
yes, right. Okay, and I only have one action left, so I guess I'll just hit.
You can attack again.
Do it.
Worked
Swing
first
for the
time.
fences.
Yeah. Do I get a plus on that because it's flanked?
Yep, you get a +2. Not so much you get a +2, it gets a -2 on its armor class. Essentially kind of comes with the same thing, but you don't get it.
Yeah.
But cool, and it's ready for the second swing. Cedric.
Cedric's going to start with a seek action for old dirty Molar back there in the back.
Okay.
So let's try perception here, and I am taking a -1 because I'm still rubbing the sleep out of my eyes.
Yeah, but you do see him. You kind of see. Unfortunately for him, being the tooth fairy with neon green mohawk and like a leather jacket and a big bag of teeth, actually gives you quite a few visual cues to spot him out of the forest. You just see him kind of there greedily, clutching his bag.
Yeah, you're not nearly as good at this as you think you are. I will then use a move action, or I will then use an action to reload and a third action to fire.
Okay.
Crossbows.
All right. So he does still have good cover.
Okay.
But that was your shot. Okay. Well, still hit.
Cover don't matter.
Yeah.
And that included my extra damage that time, so.
Yep. So boof. Wow. Now, one thing I wanted to and sorry for not mentioning this earlier. So a thing that I typically do in pretty much every game I run, and we'll do it here, is when you reduce the enemy to 0, it's not dead unless you say you want it dead, right? So if you so you can talk to it or something like that, right? He's just very, very hurt right now. Unless you're no, I got him dead to rights and he's gone. So just so you know, he's otherwise hurt in the bushes. And that was your actions?
That's it. I start reloading again, but I can't do that until next turn. So, all right, one's off the field.
Cool. Oh wow. All right. I feel like this is like worth an announcement, right? We just hit our $3,000 goal here, and
Yay.
congrats everybody, and thank you everybody out there.
Thank you.
So we're at like plus 12 hero points.
All
So
right.
use them if you got them.
Yeah.
You have them.
Yeah.
You have acquired them, right? Think of these as teeth that you get to put back in your mouth. So
Thanks for
Save,
all
save
your
one
teeth
for that medicine check to put that tooth back.
Exactly. There you go. Awesome. That's so cool.
Awesome.
And Ilda.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and attack the one in front of me.
The one red one or the
Yeah, the red one.
I'm going to use my aid reaction for this.
Ooh, yeah. Go give that aid's usually DC 20, so
Okay. I'm going to use hero point for that.
Sure.
Since that's one short for a
sure.
23.
Yeah.
Remember your
Yeah.
training.
Cool.
Bringing it together.
That should
And
be
so
a
then-
+1.
Okay, cool. So +1. And then I get to use the short sword sneak attack because I have
Flanking. Yep.
flanking right now. Cool.
Mhm.
So for that one. No. So it'd be a 12 with the +1.
Very close, but not quite.
Want to use
Isn't it
a
a plus
hero
3?
point?
Yeah,
Is it-
I'll use the hero point because I haven't used
Use
one.
hero
yet.
point.
Wake up.
Okay, so try that again.
Oh!
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. What happens to that thing?
I
Oh.
would say still a little nervous about fighting people and such. She'll be very happy of the aid and the inspiration and just like I got this. Yeah, I got this. Straight for body mass and lean forward and like almost instead of swiping, kind of more stab at it.
Okay. Yeah. And you like it's sort of like busy, sort of like flitting around, and then boom, you get it. It's like, ow!
Yeah. And then would I be able to turn around and attack the one behind me?
Yep, you can.
But that would be because I'm not flanked with that one. It would just be a normal short sword. Still
Correct.
a second attack though.
Well, you could. So just to point out too, so you could use a move action to move here.
Oh
And
yeah.
then-
Okay, sure. Yeah. So second action move, and then third action.
Yep.
Second attack with sneak attack.
Mhm.
Nice.
So 14.
That will hit.
Sweet. So
So 9 and
9 points.
you catch that one. It's sort of focused on Barmarjin and not looking at you, which is its first and last mistake. Bang! You catch it in the back.
Ilda, the Terminator.
I knew I was right to believe in you.
Oh, that worked! Wonderful. And then
You
if
deal
it's
death
still
wherever you walk.
-2 from the persistent bleeding, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, and then so now we have to handle the persistent. So if we do, so yeah, you'll take 2 from that, and then so persistent is fun. You have to make a flat check, so no bonuses on the check, of 15 or higher. So like in the thing, if you just do like a slash roll,
Okay.
space 1d20.
Ew.
No, okay, you're still bleeding.
Yeah.
This is also a kind of thing that you can help with a medical check, medicine check later too.
Okay. Mhm.
And great. So that's your turn. That guy can't go anywhere because he's gone. So there's this one who flies up on Harvey. And is going to attack with. Oh wait. Oh sorry. Hold on. I forgot a thing here. I gotta wind back 1 second. So when you kill these two, there is plaque burst. So yeah. So they explode and they smell like mouth essentially. So Snurchka, Ilda, and Babarmajan make me fortitude rolls. DC 16.
All right. Fortitude. Where is fortitude?
It's under saving throws, I think.
Yeah. So
The middle column.
Oh, there we are.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right, you're good.
Fortitude.
Everybody else
5.
is feeling. It doesn't take damage, but it does leave you feeling sickened. No one critically failed, so it's just sickened 1.
No, I
So
do
sick-
think we still have 9 hero points left. Is that?
I mean, yeah, that's true. You can always make a roll.
Just a thought. Unless we want to save them for attack rolls.
I'm for saving for attack rolls.
I'll use
But
one.
my attacks have been going well, so.
I'm just saying, smoke them if you got them, right?
Hey.
There you go.
I
Okay,
use,
yeah, okay.
I remember the power of charity. I
okay.
overcome.
Okay, you just like cover your mouth
Mhm.
there to get the worst of it, but I have a feeling like for Snurfga, it's just doesn't like similar to the other stuff. It just doesn't bother him. He's just like,
Right. I'm a
it's
big
a big
guy.
deal. Yeah, just like whatever. Okay, now to this one who comes at Harvey and attacks. 11's not going to make it.
Yeah, my AC's 18.
20.
That would, yeah.
That's 3 bludgeoning. I'll mark it on your token here real quick.
Alrighty.
Ouch.
And then this guy, actually, it seems upset at the fate of his friend. So comes charging in at Ilda with 23 hits.
Yeah.
4 bludgeoning.
Ooh.
I'm coming to help.
Ugh.
And it's just going. We can't. It does need to go with that. So yeah, just sort of starts trying to beat on you with the pliers, but that other one misses, and oh, Dirty Muller is so cute that you thought you were in the initiative order anymore. Since that guy's there, this one comes at Schnurska, and attacks the plier. 24 hit.
Oh, I'd be surprised
Ow.
if it didn't. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a hit.
So then you take some damage, and then it goes for the tooth tug immediately after.
Ugh.
Oh, no. Okay. All right, I got to figure out
Handy incisor has it. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm enjoying playing fairy names too much. And so you take the persistent bleeding and Harvey.
Okay. I am going to I'm going to move. If I move, do I like drag the fairy with me? How big is this fairy?
I mean, it's super tiny.
Would I be able to just drag it with me?
Sure. Like, I'll let you grab it with you. Now this and that, and it's not going anywhere.
Okay. I would like to move and flank I'd like to move directly behind the one closest to me that's up against Ilda, like right here.
Okay.
To flank that one.
Okay.
And then I would like to make a short sword attack with while dragging the other fairy. I'd like to make a short sword attack with my cold steel short sword.
Okay.
Clicked it once, but it didn't go through. Does a 20? I assume it's actually a 22 in this case because the person's AC got lowered.
I mean, it's the equivalent. I mean, it's going to hit over. It's still 20, but their armor class is like lower by 2, mostly fame effect. But sure, you definitely hit, and you do 2 piercing plus. It's weak to cold iron, so you do actually an extra 4, or do an extra 2. Sorry. Do you want to attack again?
Yes, I would love to attack again. I'm not trying to kill it. I'm more just trying to disable it.
Okay.
But I will do attack number 2. A 19.
Oh yeah. You swat it out of the sky.
All right. Does it still explode if I'm just trying to knock it unconscious?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I guess if you're going for not like strictly non-lethal damage, then we could, if you're going for strictly non-lethal, it would be a -2 on your roll to do like non-lethal, and so you would still hit with this with that roll, even at a 17. So yeah,
Okay.
so you could just sort of like go to just unconscious and not like take it down.
Clunk it on the head with the pommel.
Pommel, you just like boom.
Yeah.
You like stab, bat.
Yeah.
It just drops. It doesn't even get to announce his name on its exit out. It's really sad.
It's okay. I heard it called Harry. I heard it called Slushy Canine on its way over by the Dirty Molar.
Nice. And Babamarjan.
Okay. So with my panache from helping out Ilda, I'm going to charge up to the bagged up tooth fairy. And I'm going to use my confident finisher, which is, if it hits, is going to deal 2d6 extra damage because of my panache.
Kabloom.
Oh, wait, no, that's not how that works. Hold on.
So we can keep the confident finisher results. That hits.
13, all right. And so with a flourish of my blade, I'm just going to swipe at him through the... I'm going to stab as to not hurt the net.
Okay.
Okay, I'll roll the damage there. For an additional 4, for a total of 12.
Thank you for not hurting the net.
Yes, you leave the net extremely intact.
Aha!
The tooth fairy, not so much. And also,
I'm going to need to clean the net.
fortitude checks.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll take that one.
Okay. Oh no, sorry. Schnurchika doesn't need to.
Oh, not me.
It's in 5 feet, so only.
Oh,
the
I
people who are
see.
there.
Yeah.
Barmajan is sickened. Was it? That was almost a critical fail, but not quite a critical fail. So
Hooray!
But you're still sickened 1, and sickened 1 is basically like -1 on like pretty much most checks.
Mm-hmm.
And then to get rid of it, you actually have to spend like a turn kind of retching, like spend not a turn, but an action to lower it at a level.
I use an action to retch. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty flavorful. And was that your turn?
I have one more action, which I'm
Sure.
going to aid again towards Schnurtzka, and I'm going to turn to Schnurtzka and say, Schnurtzka, remember the fury of your uncle. Avenge him! Because your tusk is now being pulled.
Right. Oh, yes, it's true. Okay. All right, so...
And that's my turn.
Okay. All right. So these, at this point, these things are like gonna get ready to run away, unless y'all are gonna try and sort of stop it or prolong it. Dirty Molar is caught in the bushes, by the way. He's probably the one that you want to talk to. But these two are just like fly off.
Okay.
Their boss man ain't going anywhere,
Let
so
them go.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, do you want to talk to Dirty Molar?
Yeah.
Yep.
if possible, could I make a medicine check to stop my friends from bleeding?
That's right. I need to do that.
Yeah.
I bleed. Let's see here.
Well, I won't have you make the roll.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a healer's kit and the whole thing, so yeah.
Yeah, you got the healing. We got like a cleric and a medic there. It's just a matter of sort of like not when, and not if, but when you heal Ilda up. So you sort of tend to the wounds and do your sort of post-battle stuff. And then Molar, he's kind of like lying in the bushes, just like, oh.
Can I wrap him up in the net and then kind of hold the cold steel sword at the ready in case we need it?
Yes.
You're really going to need to wash that thing.
Yes, I'm going to need to. I'm gonna go straight to the river after this.
I mean, I'm sure the fish ain't gonna mind too much, but I'm gonna retrieve the bag of teeth. By the way, I hope they've. I hope they labeled these teeth so we know who to return these to.
Lauren kind of like comes by you when you pick up the teeth. He's like, you don't think we could just lose some of those, do you?
I don't really feel comfortable with that. We were.
I
don't know what does the rest of the group think.
Where you see teeth and virtue, I see labor.
But
Well,
I mean, I
We
could
can
take a
help you.
few for a trophy.
I can help.
Okay.
I'm happy to
if I
help
learned
as
anything
well.
on the farm, it's a good day's work is worth its weight in gold. You've got job secure. That's what this bag is. It's a big bag of job security.
It's a big bag of exhaustion, but you've promised to help, so I'll hold
That's
you
true.
to
I
And
did
I'll-
not promise
I've been
to help.
meaning to
Get
work on my
people
dental.
filed in your line correctly.
that.
I can organize the front. You guys work in the back.
Uh-huh.
Right. Yeah, like so, and I'm gonna just sort of I want to get to the last part here, so I'm gonna like we'll fast forward to the interrogation of Dirty Muller, but you know what do you want to get out of it? Basically, like, or how? Let me ask you, how do you get the sort of information you need out of him? Like, what do you play, like good cop, bad cop? Like what is your means of forcing information out of Germany?
I am not an intimidating man. Just look at
I'd
this
be
chair black face.
bad cop.
And it'll be just like, could you just help us out? We want to know why, and we want to know who told you to, and we want to know everything really, but those two mostly.
Dirty Molar's not going to tell you anything about Migsy.
Schnurtzka will cut you in half. I'm just gonna put that out there. He will do it.
I just rolled intimidation.
Yeah, with a 23, yes, you do. And just like, kind of like, and then looks up at Schnurtzka, and you're like still wielding the like great sword that you use to like, like hefted over your shoulder. And all you really do is like from your warrior days, you just have that look where you just kind of like go from
right.
And then it's just like, okay.
Well, that switched around real fast.
Clearly, you're not ones to be reasoned with, and Migsy would understand if I told you everything, so I could spare my life, so I could live to get more teeth some other day.
That's probably a good idea.
So so Dirty Muller kind of like is just like, oh yes, like he's kind of like, come out and sort of bribed and intimidated all sorts of different like Fae groups around, and brought them over here to harass the poor people of Thesden. They weren't ever gonna, he had told them to do that just to pull more awful pranks and beat up on some more people. He wasn't even he didn't want the money, right? He just kind of wanted the things. And Muller tells you that he is, in a place that Migsy likes to call his Glen of Iniquity. Bad puns, all Migsy's. He after a couple of hard glances from Schnurtzka more, he coughs up the sort of details of how you'll get there, and where to go. So does anyone want to sort of get any other info out of him, or
is he alone in this Glen?
He generally, he keeps pets, but
pets.
I don't think he lets anybody in there. It's his personal space.
So he's got like a cat in there,
or something. I don't know. I've never been. He's never invited me.
Which teeth are the most useful, do you think? Just for like general purpose.
Molars, of course.
I don't know what I was expecting.
What do you do with teeth?
I imagine all sorts of things.
He's basically kind of like, he kind of like, when you ask what do you do with teeth, he kind of looks at you like, who is this guy? Like, what? You collect teeth.
What don't you do with teeth?
Like, come on. You get teeth
and profit.
You get teeth, period. Right? The metaphysics of teeth is far beyond Dirty Muller. So we're like, so we've got 15 minutes here, so I want to sort of like advance us to the part where we want to, we want to talk with Migsy here and figure out what we want to do with Migsy. So we'll bring you here to this wonderful glade. Like, you travel through this area. Like, it becomes clear that he's sort of found this like semi-pocket kind of area that's like part in the Fae, part in the real world. And you have to like walk this winding path to get to it. And so you come here and the colors are just so vibrant, and there's this beautiful waterfalls and everything everywhere. And, he jumps out from this well over here. Welcome, welcome to Migsy's Glen of Iniquity. Does anybody even crack a smile? That is bad pun.
No.
No.
A little bit. I try and repress it, but
I'm sorry, Migsy. I don't get it.
I think Harvey stops smiling. I think he'd been smiling like, we're getting to the bottom of this, and at that point, just no.
And hold on, let me pull out. Don't know why I didn't have this one right at the ready. And that's Migsy. Well, if you won't laugh at a joke, you won't pull at a prank, you won't let me have my teeth, what do you want?
Migsy, I think there could be a lot of opportunities for jokes in the future if you just listened to us for a moment.
You know, he's like, well, make it quick. And whilst you're doing this, Lauren, the elf, kind of like walks up to Cedric and kind of slips the cold iron clover in your hands. She's like, if in case you need this.
Out of things.
And sort of slides back.
I am not the main arbiter of this plan, but we have an idea for you to keep doing pranks and to hone your own brand of comedy.
What plan do you have? He's definitely interested.
Is anyone better at lying than I am? I'm not sure if I should have this.
I'm okay at it.
I don't know if anyone's particularly deceptive.
I'm decent. I got a +5.
That's 5 more than me. So I just kind of palm it over towards Harvey. Harvey, just kind of gesture you down because I'm 3 feet tall. I think maybe the best thing we could do is just convince them that they'll appreciate his comedy more back in the first world. Yes. Maybe it's just too sophisticated for us here. I know I don't get it.
Yes. I'll try something else first. I'll go.
I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, I'll take the clover and walk up to Babar Majin and say, "Do you mind if I step in for just a moment?"
Oh, of course. I really actually don't remember what the plan was.
Absolutely fine. I'm going to turn to Ilda and say, Ilda, would you mind explaining to our good man here the idea that you had for the theater in Schnurska? You also, I believe, had this idea to have a house of jokes, perhaps a tavern or a private theater.
Yeah.
And as they're doing that, I'm just gonna like walk up to him, just kind of sidle up, like yeah, see. And I'd like to palm the piece, and then just pat him on the pat him on the shoulder and slide it on.
So all right, that's all good. But give me a big old deception roll. So one thing we'll note, we'll just sort of set this roll up a little bit. So it's going to be hard, right? It's about like a DC 19. You get a hero point. You can only use 1 hero point on a roll, right? So even though you got a lot of hero points here, this is like
a
big thing. So no pressure, but pressure.
All right.
So
we believe in
give me your
Harvey.
deception. And actually, yeah, I was gonna say, how do you want to aid before we roll?
I just want to keep buttering Migsy up with some diplomacy and just being, I really think you have done some good jokes that townspeople told me about it, and really, you are underappreciated.
They still talk about me?
Oh, they still talk about me.
Okay. All right.
The thing with the well, that was hilarious.
Give me the give me the diplomacy roll.
Okay. 13. Can I hero point that?
You sure can.
Oh man.
Hands off.
Would the other two helping, like coming to explaining their idea, also count as potential help with that?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Does that be like a diplomacy deception? It's society. What do you think? Like I'll let you pitch me on what role you want to make.
I think Cedric just wants to kind of the same thing that Barmagen was doing, where it's just kind of keeps his focus on us.
Okay, so like a diplomacy?
Yeah, I think diplomacy.
Okay.
You know, the fact of the matter is that most comedians aren't really appreciating their own time anyway. So I mean that might just be what's going on here.
You're like really like the Letty Bruce.
Yeah. Years later, everyone's gonna really appreciate this. Okay, come on.
All right, give me that roll.
Oh,
nice.
Okay.
God, Roll 20 is working for me tonight.
Yeah, seriously. It's happening. Okay. He's just like, oh, yeah, maybe that was a problem all along. Yes.
Exactly.
I think you're onto something. You know, and then like looks over to Barmer. You clearly don't know what you're talking about, but you're onto something. And then now Harvey is kind of going in for the kill.
Yeah. So this is deception?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
With a +1, that makes it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hey. Hey.
Look at that teamwork.
Refresh for us again how you're like, you know,
I'm
like I stopped you right when you're.
Oh yeah, I'm just kind of like sidling up like as a friendly like, blah 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 blah, you know, walking, kind of bridging the gap, kind of like urging everybody else to move forward so it doesn't look weird that just one guy is like walking up to him. And then in the midst of this, I'm just gonna palm it in my hand and say, Migsy, old boy, I think this is the beginning of a new start for you, and clap him on the back. And as I do that, I just kind of slide the 4-leaf clover under his like lapel, or so that it's on his person. To get so that it's on him, so that he just hopefully.
And he was well, you know, and like you slap that on him, he's like, "Oh, yeah, that's right, because no one could appreciate me on this plane." And he's sort of like, you know, he looks down in his hand, he like brings it up, and it's like translucent. He's like, "What did you do?" Well, you know, and he starts going transparent. He was like, "Oh my God, I was just monologuing. I wasn't ready to go yet. I like, you know, I still have so many pranks. Please, boy, you know, like, no, like, you know, you'll regret it." Yeah, and he's just sort of getting pulled. He's getting pulled. He's going transparent and getting like pulled into the clover, and kind of like into the clover, and then like what's filtering out is kind of like this kind of weird spell magic as he like enters into the Feywild through it. And so he's getting like filtered through the iron. He's like, "No, I'll go back. You'll regret it when I'm rich." Right? Like, you know, it's like
you're a leprechaun, aren't you already rich?
You truly don't understand comedy.
You were funny.
Then he's gone.
Well, I mean, that was pretty funny.
Yes.
I think that's the funniest thing he's ever done.
If you think about it, Migsy himself was the joke.
That's true. That's true. That's a joke I got.
Hey! I dap Cedric up.
You know, and then like, you know, sort of like Lauren goes, you know, picks it up, and he's like, "If we had done this from the start," pockets, like, he just sort of walks off, right? Like he's clearly his point has been proven for him.
Are you we don't know how to get back to town. Why are you leaving?
And he just kind of, you know, he doesn't even turn around. He just motions for you to follow.
Do we take a look around? Cedric starts looking up towards the sky. Is there a rainbow or something? I thought there was a whole thing about gold.
Honestly,
Maybe I just missed it.
We can.
So
let's try and
his-
find our way back later.
I mean, his stash is actually very disappointing. It's like just a bunch of like bad, like gags and like prank kind of things. Like that's his like it's a pot of pranks.
He thought they were gold.
Yeah, he thought they were his gold. So yeah, I mean, you get back, talk with everyone's happy to get their teeth back. I'm assuming you hold up your end of the bargain to Lauren and help him, be on like teeth heal duty. You accept your payment. Does anybody have any sort of like in character kind of like thoughts they want to sort of lead out with?
I'm gonna pocket a few molars.
Oh, okay.
Just in case.
Okay. Molars are the best.
I think this just kind of shows don't heckle comedians. It's just not good. Just be nice. That's all it took. Some communication. I think we've learned a lot today.
And even if it's positive heckling, it's best. It's for the best to just not say it.
Does Ilda have any sort of thoughts or lessons learned from it?
Well, Ilda, like I said, just helped Lauren have less work by organizing the lines waiting outside and such, and put in a new system that actually works, so they're not super stressed.
Yeah. What about Schnurska?
Schnurza's going to go hunt out Zedra and talk to her about bears.
Okay. And Harvey?
Harvey's going to return the net to the fisherman, thanking him profusely. After having cleaned it off, I should say. He will have cleaned the net. He will return the net, and then upon, I guess, receiving his adventurer's pack, give a little, as he's walking away, he jumps into the air as like a whee, and then freeze frames.
That is a perfect ending. Awesome. That was a lot of fun, everyone. I hope everyone had fun with that.
That was a blast. Thank you for running that for us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this is great.
And thank you, I guess, to everyone out there that donated. Thank you.
Everybody who donated, thank you so much. That's
I'm
really
glad we use all the
That's
hero
so cool.
points.
Yeah. Thanks for all the hero points. It was amazing.
We needed them for a while.
Yeah. Like at first you were rolling really hot, and then it was like,
nope.
Yeah.
Disembodied voices here to say as well. Hello. Hello. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We have 2 more games tonight. The next one starts in about half an hour. It is run by Star-Lord Justin Harris of the Tableverse podcast. We are switching things over from Pathfinder to Starfinder, and I could not be more excited. I will be at that table. We're joined by my fellow cohort from the Starfound podcast, Helena Anderson, and the inimitable Eleanor DiLorenzo from over on the Glass Cannon with Androids and Aliens. So please come back or chill and chat, and we'll be right back after these messages, I guess. We'll be back. But thank you, and stick around. Thank all of you for playing.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.